because that right there is a lot funner and a lot easier than using the hedge trimmer. So welcome back to the sawmill, friends. We got a lot going on today, but the first thing we need to do is do some work with the excavator. You guys hang in there. So before we get going, I think I need to add some hydraulic fluid to the excavator. And it looks like we're a little low. That's the sight glass right there for the hydraulic fluid. And usually you want it halfway up right there, and it's barely showing on the bottom. So we don't have a hydraulic leak on this machine. The reason that's low is because I had to change some hoses out for this new attachment we're going to be using today. And when I did that the other day, I left one of them kind of loose on another attachment that was on the machine, and it leaked out overnight, so that's what happens sometimes. Let's put some more in it. Spin this thing around so it'll be easier to get to the hydraulic tank. And I tell you what, this machine could use a bath. It's pretty dirty. Better relieve that pressure before we take the cap off. All right, guys, real fast, I went ahead off camera and hooked up the hydraulic lines, because I tell you what, hooking hydraulic lines on equipment nowadays is a battle for me. And this tool right here makes it easier. Not sponsored, bought this on Amazon several years ago. It's called the QC Mate by Irwin. And I tell you what, guys, half the time that I put attachments on tractors or the excavator or anything, I have to use this right here to get the pressure off. It works every time. Should have bought this years and years ago. They should give you this when you buy equipment nowadays. If you want one, there's a link down below. I'll save you the trouble of trying to find it. So all right, guys, I've been wanting to use this attachment for several weeks. I had to wait on the adapter to come in that goes on this excavator. Then I had to have that welded on the machine. But I tell you what, guys, we are ready to go. And as far as what this is, guys, if you're not familiar with this kind of attachment, this is a flail mower that goes on your excavator. It's very similar to a flail mower that goes on your tractor. Got these little hammers right here that swing around. They pretty much destroy anything they hit. Works really good on the tractor. I've never had one for the excavator. This is made by Baumelite. The model number is MX230. And guys, Baumelite is a partner with me here on the channel. But I tell you what, they make some great stuff. Very highly engineered stuff. And they think of things before you get them. And here's an example of that real fast. Now, I own a lot of attachments for my tractor, the skid steer, the excavator, and so on. And it never fails, you'll be getting that thing ready to work for the day, and you'll find a grease cert that you never saw before because you couldn't get to it. So right here, guys, I've got a grease cert that needs to be greased up every time you use it, and right there it is, easily accessible and easy to find. Very good job right there, Baumelite. That's thinking ahead. A lot of companies don't do that. Make your grease certs, if you guys are watching out there, highly visible and easily accessible to where you don't have to remove no panels or nothing like that. So I think we're ready to go. There's one thing I've got to watch out for today. And it's this hose right here. Now this attachment did not come with any hoses. how to get these made up at the local hydraulic shop. I tell you what, hoses are expensive. These things are $100 a piece. They're both 6-footers. Over there on that side, I got plenty of slack, but this one right here, it's not really tight, but I better watch it today. When I start extending the boom out and lowering this up and down, I'll have to watch that and make sure I don't get that in a bind. I may have to go to the hydraulic shop next week and either make this one longer, probably longer, 2 feet longer, cut off the end of it, and actually they can't do that, my goodness. Probably have to buy a whole new hose. 2 foot longer than what I got, more than likely. That'd be another $100 right there. That's the way it goes. All right, friends, we're down here at the clock house, or the old log cabin, whatever you want to call it. And I got these 2 old bushes down here we have to mow around. And to be honest with you, I'm sick to death of mowing around them. They got some kind of vine or something taking over there. But anyways, this will be some good practice, I guess, with this attachment since I've never used it before. And I'm not sure how big a material it's rated for. I think maybe 3 or 4 inches. I'll put it right here. I'll have to look it up on the website. But this stuff right here is pretty small, but it is pretty thick. And I tell you what, guys, I'm just tired of mowing around it. Let's get rid of it here. You guys hang in there. Let's see how I can do. Oh yeah, no problem. I don't know if you guys can tell, when it comes to excavators, or at least this size excavator, mine weighs 8,000 pounds. When you raise the head, you lose some velocity or speed on your attachment. So that's why I like to sweep sideways or lower it down, because when you raise it up, all the hydraulic fluids go into the cylinders to raise up your attachment and you lose speed on your attachment. That's just the way it is. You just have to work around it. And there may be bigger excavators out there that have more power, maybe, I don't know. This one has plenty of power. You just have to work around that little feature right there, or the characteristic of this machine. That sounds better. All right, guys, after just a couple of minutes, that bush is pretty much gone. And that right there is just a little too thick for this flail mower. It looks like it's about 4 to 5 inches maybe. So we got most of it. Of course, that's the stump right there. It's not going to grind a stump. But I could come back with my regular bucket now and dig that out, which will take about 30 seconds. And we'll have this out of our way. All right, here's what we've learned so far. That is not a mulcher, it's a flail mower. So if I had a mulcher, I could go all the way down to the ground with this thing, but once it gets to this height right here, and that's only about 4 or 5 inches sticking up out of the ground, maybe 6, it just kind of goes back and forth. It quits shearing it off, but that's okay, because that right there is a lot funner and a lot easier than using the hedge trimmer. I can come down here like I was saying with my tractor bucket or an excavator bucket and dig out both these stumps, and there you go. That job will be done, but looks a whole lot better. Definitely easier to mow around now. I like it. All right, friends, we are in the upper pasture where the cows are going to be, hopefully sometime this year if I can get this fence built. And now we're going to put this thing to work in some heavy vegetation and see how it does. So this is the 5-acre field below the cemetery and the main road, and it's separated from the other part of the farm by that tree line, and there's a creek down there. And we're cutting this for hay right now, or we're hoping to sometime this year. And in case you're wondering, we're not going to be cutting hay anytime soon. It's supposed to rain almost every day for the next 2 weeks. So the fence will come straight down this hill. Of course, it won't be on this side of the power pole. We'll stay on this side over here. That way we're not close to the water line or any utilities. And we'll come straight down. And there'll also be a gate above the power pole. I got some rock up there. It's where you cross over to access this field. So anyways, we'll come straight down somewhere right in here where this pear tree was that I cut the other day. And then we'll cut a corner right there and turn out this way and go all the way down through there. And it's going to have some turns in it, but it's going to keep on going way down there to that gray metal building. That's one of my neighbors. I don't own that, but that's the distance right there. I think it's about 800 feet total. And right here, guys, is what I'm going to be doing. So even after the fence is up, which will be right in here, I can still come up here in the summertime with the excavator, reach over the fence, and mow all this stuff back to keep it away from the fence. That way it looks nice. friends, it's getting pretty close to quitting time, and it looks like we got some rain moving in. According to the weatherman, and he's never wrong. I mean, he's batting for 1,000 this year. The guy's never wrong. He's perfect. But you guys know how that goes. But anyways, according to the weatherman, between right now and tomorrow at 5 o'clock, we're supposed to get another inch of rain. Another inch of rain? I tell you what, this hayfield's gonna get out of control. If it don't quit raining pretty soon, I'm gonna have a jungle back here. So since we got rain coming, we better go ahead and get the sawmill ready for tomorrow and take some logs over. I don't want to be doing this tomorrow with an inch of rain out here. It'll be a muddy mess. But I think I need to start on this poplar. I got about 1,000 feet right here, and these are some good sized poplars. My good buddy Greg brought these to me about 2 weeks ago. This one right here at the bottom, or on the front rather, should have some rainbow in it. We got a lot of signs for mineral right there on the end grain right there. Probably saw that one up first. But anyways, this is about 1,000 board feet of yellow poplar, and here's where they're going to be used at. So with summer coming, and here in a few weeks, it's going to be 85 degrees every day and higher. And since I'm closer to this wall now when I'm sawing, I need to get this finished to keep the heat off of me, and it will make it look better. So this wall right here, guys, is 14 feet tall. I'm going to put a wainscot on the bottom of metal 4 foot up, primarily so over here with the conveyor, if any sawdust overshoots it and hits that wall, it'll be easier to keep it clean. And then above the 4 feet of metal, we'll do shiplap poplar, 10 foot. I'm going to run those vertically up and down. That way they're easier to keep clean. If I do horizontal shiplap, dust will get in the cracks a whole lot easier. And if I got it vertically right here, I can take my leaf blower or compressor or something like that and kind of keep it cleaned up. And I'll probably paint them white, because if I don't paint them, the carpenter bees will wear it out. So that's the plan. 4 feet of metal, 10 foot of poplar. And also importantly, right here between these girts on the metal, I'm going to put 1 inch rigid foam that will keep the heat from radiating onto the wood and making it hot right here. That should work pretty good. What do you guys think? I think it'll work pretty good. So this wall is 72 foot long and 10 foot tall, means I need 720 board feet of lumber to cover that wall if I do the wainscot on the bottom of 4 feet of metal. And I think I have 1,000 feet of that 10 foot poplar. So with oversawing, I'll probably come out with maybe 1,200. And when you factor in trim and loss and edging and et cetera, and mill work, I'll probably come out right at 800 board feet total on the shiplap. That should be more than enough to do this wall. I think it's gonna look really good.